I'm Naisha McCauley, and you're watching AccessTV.org.
Good morning and welcome to the chapel. As always, first and foremost, I'd like to thank God for this opportunity and thank you, the viewers, for tuning in. We're excited about this season and this particular show because the challenge, as you know, focuses on solutions to problems. We're not here to redefine the problems, if you will, that exist in and around our community, but we want to discuss plausible, feasible, possible solutions to those problems. And today we have a problem solver. We have someone with us who doesn't mind rolling up her sleeves and actually holding on to the plow to make sure that those who are less fortunate and those who are disenfranchised have an opportunity to share in the largesse. That person is Emily Wolfe. Good morning, Emily.
Good morning, Russell.
Thank you so very much for consenting to come by.
I'm happy to be on the challenge.
Wonderful, wonderful to have you. You know, Sheldon Oaks, which you are part of the leadership of, is a nonprofit development corporation. You know, so much emphasis is placed upon, you know, the negativity, if you will, that happens within urban areas with blight and with displacement and those kinds of things. Sheldon Oaks, quite frankly, in my mind, sticks out or stands out because it is a development corporation, and so many people, when they hear development or developers, they think about the real profiteers, if you will, and those folks who are coming in and swooping down and taking and cherry picking the projects, only you know, looking at how profitable they can be. But your perspective and Sheldon Oaks' perspective is quite different, and it speaks to the possibilities that exist within urban America. So with that being said, tell us about Sheldon Oaks. Start with the genesis of it.
Well, Sheldon Oak is a nonprofit development corporation with a mission to provide stable, affordable, attractive housing for working families and elderly people from very low to moderate income. And we are in Hartford, and we aren't going anywhere. So once we develop housing, we continue to own it and manage it. The organization was founded by church groups as part of their mission of providing.
Give us some specifics. Who were?
Well, this was back in the early 1970s.
Okay.
And 3 church groups got together in downtown Hartford: Center City Churches, Central Baptist Church, and I don't remember the third.
That's all right.
But Central Baptist Church is still very deeply involved.
Okay.
It was during the redevelopment era when Constitution Plaza was being built, and they developed Sheldon Oak Co-op, which is right on the edge of downtown behind the public library and City Hall. And their goal was to create affordable housing for working people so they could live and continue to live downtown. And it's very important right now because there's a lot of talk about bringing more residential development to downtown and creating a livable downtown. And people don't seem to realize that there already are a lot of families living downtown in our properties. And as the downtown revitalizes and more housing is being built and rents go up because it becomes more attractive to more people, we'll still have affordable housing for working people at Sheldon Oak Co-op and our other properties in the Sheldon Charter Oak neighborhood.
That's impressive to me. And, you know, here we go. You know, so many folks wonder what's happening outside of the four walls of the church, if you will. And here we go with Sheldon Oaks, you know, the church being the catalyst, if you will, for creating this nonprofit development corporation, which is looking after essentially its congregation and essentially its people who are in this case, they're elderly and they're looking for affordable housing.
And it's a good partnership because the churches are good at what they do. They do what they do with their congregation. And we do what we do, which is maintain the properties, help out the tenants if they have problems paying their rent, finance and refinance when it's time to fix them up and bring more resources to them. So it allows the church to do what they do well and not worry about fixing toilets.
Well, let's talk a little bit about, if you will, Emily Wolfe. I've heard, you know, nothing but good things. You know, you know, your reputation kind of precedes you. I know, you feel like you're kind of flying under the radar, but the reality is that, you know, when people talk and you know, when good things happen, people want to know who those people are that are responsible and who are actually involved. So share with us, if you will, who you think Emily Wolfe is and what got Emily Wolfe involved in this kind of work, and what is Emily's objectives, if you will, or what are her goals? Well,
I was trained as a social worker.
Okay.
And I worked in nursing homes. I'm particularly interested in aging issues. And I got into real estate because it's a very concrete way to help people meet their goals. I mean, good, affordable, stable housing is not sufficient for people to thrive, but it's certainly necessary, and it's a great foundation.
Sure.
For instance, I think it's very helpful for educational improvement because we provide stable housing, and parents don't need to worry whether they're going to be able to pay the light bill or keep the car running because they have a place to live that they can afford. They can concentrate on helping their children achieve in school, and because their children have a place to live and aren't moving every year or two, it's possible for them to really thrive in school. And we, Sheldon Oak is next door to Betances School, so children can walk to school.
Right. The connection is almost divine in some respects, because you think about, the elderly population being connected to the kids in their development. And, I've often said that part of the challenge, if you will, and what the show likes to focus on is how do you connect, if you will, the generations of people, because I think a large part of the problems that exist, and folks want to focus on the problems that exist mostly with younger people, if you will, is because there is a bit of a disconnect between the younger folks and the older people, and there isn't a teaching, if you will, and there isn't a love and respect that is necessarily there unless you work on it. And it sounds like to me you guys are working on it. So is this a calling of sorts to you?
Well, it's a privilege to do this work, certainly.
Yeah.
And I work with a team. The executive director of Sheldon Oak is Daniel Merida, and he's been at the organization since 1989.
Okay.
And we have project managers and resident service coordinators, and we all work together with the residents to get this done.
Yeah. Well, nonprofit, as you mentioned to me earlier doesn't mean that you're not making money, because you certainly have to make money in order to fund and finance the projects that you have. So I know you've got lots of examples of projects. We can see them if we go to your website, but also there are signs of them sprinkled throughout the city, from the north to the south, and even in between. So I know you're probably most proud of the one that's kind of in the heart of the city, that's on Vine Street. So tell me, how difficult was that to transform into the place that it is now, and how difficult was it for you as a nonprofit developer to find resources and funding to help you to do that project?
Well, it's a very long process. We first looked at these 9 buildings, the Horace Bushnell Apartments. They start at the corner of Albany and Vine, and it's 9 contiguous buildings from 4 to 40 Vine Street. We were asked to step in and figure out a way to revitalize these properties, because at the time they were badly deteriorated.
Yes.
5 of the buildings were boarded up. There were only about, I think, 30 families living in what had been 89 apartments, and nothing worked. There was a lot of loitering, and people felt that there was dangerous activity going on there.
Absolutely.
And it had already been revitalized twice. So we had to look very carefully at what the issues were in those properties and why it had been so hard for them to be successful.
Yeah.
And we worked with the neighborhood. We had neighborhood focus groups. We talked to people who had lived there, who wanted to live there if it were fixed up, people who were really connected to the neighborhood and really understood what was going on with that street. And we put together a financing package that allowed us to completely gut the buildings. We had to help the families that lived there find other apartments temporarily, and it turned out to be about a year that they lived in their temporary apartments, and then they moved back. We finished construction at the end of 2014 and almost immediately leased up the apartments, because
all of them are leased out now.
Yeah,
it's 100% occupancy. Yeah. Wow, that's amazing. And so even the abandoned buildings, which you sort of refurbished and restored, are now fully occupied.
Yes, they're all back in productive use. They're home to
well, the city must be happy.
Families. The city was very helpful.
Ecstatic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. That's good stuff. Now, give me some numbers. I mean, I can see. I mean, I'm there, but I think for those who are tuning into the program and who look at this, what kind of what was the magnitude? How much did it cost, if you will, to redo those homes? And how do you? I know you measure success by the fact that now you've restored this wonderful homestead, if you will, that people can now enjoy and live in, and relatively safely, and with few disruptions.
I think completely safely. I live there.
Oh, you live there too now? Oh my God!
There are the buildings serve a mix of incomes, and there are a lot of working people who have rented apartments. They're not restricted apartments. Other apartments are limited to people who are below a certain income.
Wait a minute. Emily Wolfe, and I'm just being a bit direct, if you will. This lovely little white girl lives in the heart of the hood.
I love that neighborhood.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Well, I feel very connected to that neighborhood because I was there and thought about it and worked there with people who lived there for 4 years. It took 4 years to get this project together, and I've got the library up the street.
Remarkable.
There's I belong to the Y. Everything you need is there, and it really is. I have to say, the friendliest neighborhood I've lived in Hartford.
Oh my God!
People help me with my groceries. Everybody on the street is friendly. It's
wow.
I think
do they know that you're the developer?
People know that I work for the owner. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, that is incredible. Oh my God, we should just talk about that. I mean, so but again, I mean, how big a project was it? How much did it cost to do the entire project from beginning to finish?
It was a huge project because we, after talking to the focus groups and working with the the neighborhood, we decided that we really needed to do a reset and to make these apartments kind of spectacular and still make them affordable for low-income people. So the city helped us by getting project-based subsidies, which means people who are eligible to live in those apartments don't pay more than 30% of their income. So we serve very low-income people that way.
Okay.
And but all the apartments are the same, the market rate and the low income, and they have in-unit laundry, which is not available really anywhere else in the neighborhood.
Oh my goodness.
So people have
within the apartment
everybody
itself.
has a washer dryer. Everybody has central air. There's wall-to-wall carpets.
Central air.
Yeah.
Okay, keep going, because I mean, you just it's just wonderful stuff. I mean, listen, we have to take a break right here. I got to catch my breath. I mean, she's thrown a few things at me that really, quite frankly, are nothing short of spectacular. Finding solutions to problems. Give us a moment here on The Challenge with Emily Wolfe. We'll be right back.
It's an educational fundraiser to help promote awareness against domestic violence and domestic abuse. Darrell W. Fitzgerald Jr. from Candid Conversations reads from his book, She. Tina Williams of Lady Flavor Radio reads from her book, Finding Peace After a Life of Sexual, Mental, and Physical Abuse. Sunday, April the 26th at Gillesco's Restaurant. For more information, call 860-922-6983. Icy Sunset Jazz in the City, a jazzy, sultry evening with an arts exhibition. April the 25th at the Hartford Hilton Hotel, 315 Trumbull Street, Hartford, Connecticut. It's 4 hours from 5:30 to 9:30. Dress code is City Chic. For more information, call 646-462-1461. That's 646-462-1461.
We're here on this morning's challenge talking to Emily Wolfe, the Deputy Director of Sheldon Oaks, a solution-oriented, if you will, and a person who is addressing the problems and addressing the needs, if you will, of the urban areas. Emily has, in my opinion, been nothing short of remarkable. She clearly understands the problems that exist within urban America and is tackling them, with the kind of stick-to-itiveness that is necessary in order to be impactful in our neighborhoods. I'm really, honestly, I'm glad, that you consented to be on the show this morning.
Well, thank you for inviting me.
We know that if there's a problem, there's a solution.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I think about, how much blight, if you will, how much deterioration exists within urban America, and particularly in Hartford, to the idea of coming up with a nonprofit development corporation to help to regain and to restore, you know, affordable housing, you know, market rate housing, if you will, things that, you know, people can appreciate.
Mm-hmm.
From, you know, just living inside of a neighborhood, you know, it's kind of become your mission.
Mm-hmm.
And the mission of Sheldon Oaks. And we're glad because you're a great example. And, you know, I'm not just hurling superlatives and accolades. I'm talking about the work that you've done. And Sheldon Oaks and the Vine Street Project, bringing 5 boarded up, I would think approximately 30-unit buildings,
Mm-hmm.
Back onto the city rolls, putting people who were perhaps displaced back into apartments and homes where they can reunite with families, and they can gather, and they can you know, work out, you know, out of in a place where now they can appreciate. It's just great stuff. And I'm searching myself right now as I speak to you, you know, to think about, you know, how do you find, or how do you decide as an organization which properties to pursue,
Mm-hmm.
which ones your investors may feel are attractive and worthwhile, and you know, just your overall process for, you know, attaching yourself with your expertise and you know, the resources that you have to a particular project. How does that all happen at Sheldon Oaks?
Well, we've always focused on rental housing in Hartford.
Okay.
And we believe that good, attractive, stable rental housing stabilizes neighborhoods and encourages people to invest in the properties around our properties, and so that encourages other rental investment and also other home ownership. Rental housing is well, home ownership isn't for everybody,
right.
So we appreciate that other developers do that, but that rental housing is also really important.
Mm-hmm.
We select projects that have some quantity of, so they'll have impact. We don't want to just do one building on a block and invest the money, and then the rest of the block doesn't get any attention.
Right.
So the opportunity to do Vine Street was a really wonderful opportunity because it's 9 buildings in a row, and it's an important, busy retail corridor, Albany Avenue, and Vine Street is a beautiful street that goes up to the park, and a lot of really nice owner-occupied historic houses just above Mather. So you know, those people are investing, and we're investing, and so we're all helping each other help each other. When we look at projects, we also look at the try to make sure that they have economic impact on the neighborhood. So for example, Vine Street, we there was a lot of work, and we had local contractors doing the framing and the drywall and the electrical, the carpets, you know, the masonry. The subcontractors were required to hire local people to do the labor. So I think it has a multiplier effect, not just once the buildings are done and people move in, but during the process.
And even after, I would imagine too, because once those homes have been restored, now you have a community of people who now, you know, will patronize businesses, who will use some of those contractors again for, you know, whatever work that needs to be done. So did that particular project sort of give you the confidence, if you will, to did it give confidence to your investors to indicate, your ability and your capacity to do something of that magnitude as well?
Yeah, we're continuing to work with the investors.
Okay.
The financing for this project is complex and complicated, but we use low-income housing tax credits, which is the really the only federal program that finances affordable housing for low-income people, and it allows private investors to work with developers. They essentially buy the tax credits, and that's the equity. And we also used historic tax credits, which is a way to finance historic preservation. So we were required not to change anything about the exteriors of the buildings, and they're beautiful buildings. They were designed by eminent architects in the 1920s. Each building is slightly different and is a slightly different historical style. And they were majestic in the 1920s because they're sort of set back and they're high up, and we have now recreated that. And I think once the landscaping is done, it was delayed by the horrible winter, and we haven't been able to plant. But I think people will be really impressed.
Oh, the architecture! I mean, I don't know that I've seen anything quite like it. Anywhere. I mean, I actually was really impressed that it was built where it was built, and was really kind of surprised that it had deteriorated the way it had, because it was such a beautiful community. It just I guess now I'm wondering now what the outlook is for Sheldon Oaks. I mean, where's your next target? I mean, I guess you look like Superman to most of us. I mean, if you can do Vine Street, you can probably just do just about anything, even commercial development if you chose to. Is that true or not? I mean,
it took a long time, and we had a lot of help from the community. We're continuing to look at the neighborhood and see if there are other properties that we could acquire and restore.
Are you bound by geographic boundaries, or no? You can go.
We are a community development corporation, and we began in the Sheldon Charter Oak neighborhood and worked in the Sheldon Charter Oak neighborhood for many years. But we have been asked by other communities to come in and help develop, and that's what happened on Vine Street.
Wonderful. That is just it's remarkable stuff. I mean, so for all intents and purposes, your model can be used anywhere in this country. Is that a fact?
I mean that there are the financing sources that are available. They are what they are, and
yeah. Well, it's exceptional work. I mean, I can't. I mean, the number of people that have been impacted by it, it's exponential. I think that it actually is more than just a building or the development of buildings, but I think you're restoring hope, in a lot of ways. And I know people, think that that's kind of an abstract concept, if you will. But when you see the transformation and you see the change from what once was to what now it's become, that's gotta provide hope, in a world and in a community where all you hear about is the negative. You hear about especially where we're talking about Vine Street, tons of criminal activity, all kinds of malicious and, real bad behavior. But in spite of all of that, Sheldon Oaks and this little lady named Emily Wolfe decides to move into this place. Oh my God, that almost sounds like it's novel worthy or something.
Well,
I mean, that's
I do hear this a lot. There's a lot of skepticism
Sure.
about the ability of anything or anybody to change. But we know from experience that the people in our developments they face challenges. They go to work. They make sure their kids go to school.
Yep.
99.9% of them are
Hardworking.
good, hardworking.
Yeah. Decent.
People.
Decent. Yeah.
And the
law
reason,
abiding and want the same things that anybody else wants
right
in life.
And on
Yeah.
Vine Street, I think the key is we've created the beautiful physical environment, and
Yeah.
now we need to manage it and make sure that
You must work really hard on your relationship too. I'm guessing that people who know you, they've grown to know you over a period of time.
relationships is really what our work is about.
Yeah. But trust is a big
Mm-hmm.
component too, though.
That's why I think it's nice that employees of the management company with the Shockett Management and the developer live in the properties, because it shows that we're engaged and invested too.
Yeah. Wow. So you're not just, talking the talk, but you're actually, so to speak, you're walking the walk.
Well, I like being part of the community. I really like it very much.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I tell you, I'm very, very glad that Sheldon Oaks has embarked upon this and can actually speak to the possibilities
Mm-hmm.
that exist within a community that in some ways feels a bit neglected and abandoned and left out. Now you can again speak to the possibilities. What do you want to leave us with? As we wrap up here on this morning's show, what do you want our viewers to remember most about Sheldon Oaks, Emily Wolfe, and the work that you guys are doing?
Well, that we need help from our partners, and we rely on relationships. People should come to Albany Avenue and see that it's a lively neighborhood with a lot of potential.
Mm.
We're going to be doing something across the street. There's a vacant lot, and we're talking right now with the residents to see if how many people are interested in doing community gardening there.
Mm.
So if anybody's interested in being involved with that, we have a meeting on Monday, April 13th
Okay.
at 4 Vine Street. Oh, there's a part of the development part of the plan was to create a community center in one of the buildings. So 4 Vine Street, which is the building on the corner, the entire first floor is dedicated to community space and resident space. We have a computer lab there,
Okay.
and we've offered computer classes to the elderly.
Okay.
There are a number of people 62 and over living in that property, and all the first floor apartments are handicapped accessible. So if anybody is interested in becoming part of that, that's Fridays.
Now, is that up on your website?
Yes.
And your website is
it's sheldonoak.org. Sheldon Oak without an S.org.
Without an S.
Right. It's Sheldon Oak.
Oak.
SHELDONOAK.org.
Okay. Well, thank you so much again, Emily, for consenting to be our guest this morning. We've enjoyed it. You, remarkable work from a remarkable person. We're excited about what you continue to do. Come back and visit with us, and let's talk about the next project when you get a chance.
Okay. Thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you.
All righty. Remember, this is a challenge, and the challenge is being met by those who will put their hands to the plow, roll up their sleeves, and be committed and be sincere about the work that they do. Be blessed.